Well, good morning and welcome to Morning Cuppa. It's great to have your company this morning. We're going to do something a little bit fun this morning. It's just a little bit fun because you don't want to have too much fun on a Thursday morning, but this is just enough fun so that you can say that you had fun watching Morning Cuppa this morning. In case anybody asks you, you say, oh yeah, it was pretty fun this morning. Because today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a trivia challenge. And I'm only going to have one question. It's one trivia question, and if you get it right, if you're the first person to get it right, you will be the champion of Morning Cuppa Trivia, the Morning Cuppa Trivia Challenge this morning. So all you need to do to take part in this is, if you're on Facebook, or even if you're on YouTube, you can have a go at this. Just put in the comments your response. What is the correct answer to this trivia question? And the first person to get the correct answer will win. And you might be asking, what do I win? What do I win? I know that's what you're asking right now. You're on the edge of your seat. You want to know, what am I going to win? Well, you are going to win all that is due to all the glory and adulation that is due to the winner of the Morning Cuppa Trivia Challenge. And it's bragging rights is really what it comes down to. You're going to be able to tell all your friends, hey, I won the Morning Cuppa Trivia Challenge this morning. And they're going to look at you with a look like this. They're going to go, when you tell them that you've won that. But what this look is, this is the look of admiration and envy. That's what your friends are going to look at you, especially if they've never heard of Morning Cuppa. They're going to have a particular admiration and envy for you if you are the champion. I know there's going to be a lot of people competing for that. So here's the one question. And you might want to be quick on this, or you might want to give it some time to think it through, because it's a little tricky. I'm going to ask you, are you ready for the question? Here it is. Who is the most famous person in the world? Rather, who was the most famous person in the world in the year 30 AD? Who was the most famous person in the world in the year 30 AD? If you put your response in the comments, then the first person to get it correct is going to be the winner. Now, you might want to do that right away and try and get in before others, or you might want to wait a moment, because I'm going to give you a hint. It's not the answer to every question that a minister asks in a children's sermon. Kids know what the answer is to any question that a minister asks in a children's sermon. What is the answer? Doesn't matter what the question is. The answer is Jesus. No, that's not the answer to this trivia question. Because Jesus lived in the year 30 AD, but he certainly was not the most famous person on the face of the earth at that time. Matter of fact, he would have been recognized only by a handful of people at that time. And very, very few people would have known his name. Just people in a small backwater province of the Roman Empire really knew anything about him at all. But the person I'm talking about, he was much, much more famous than Jesus at the time when Jesus lived. This person his name was known by everyone across the Roman Empire, really across the whole Western world. This guy's name was known. Not only was it known, but people would have recognized him. They knew his face. In a time before photographs, everybody would have known his face, because his face was on the coins. So people knew his name. They would recognize his face. And more than that, they were required all across the empire. Everyone was required to confess that this man was Lord. That was the law. They were required by law to confess that this man was Lord. So he was, without question, the most famous person in the world in 30 AD. Can you name him? Now, I obviously can't look at the comments right now, but I imagine that there are a few wrong guesses. And that's not because people aren't well educated or they don't know their history. It's actually because for all that he was seen as important and powerful, this man really doesn't matter. In the scope of human history, this man really is quite insignificant. His name is trivia right now. That's not his actual name. He's not actually named Trivia, but he is Trivia. Some people might have guessed, is it Julius Caesar? No, it's not Julius Caesar. Somebody else might have guessed, maybe it's Augustus. I remember reading something about Augustus in the bot. No, it's not Augustus. It's someone else. I'm not going to tell you right now because I want you to be able to play the game. But in fact, if you didn't get it right, that's not any shame on you. Who cares who it is? He just doesn't matter. But Jesus does matter. He matters to me, matters to you. 2,000 years later, he's at the core of my life. He's at the core of many of our lives. He's at the core of millions of people's lives. His name is on our lips, and his words are in our heart. His spirit is alive in us. And it says something really important about greatness. We think about the people who today are seen as the most important people in the world, the people whose names we hear all the time, who are always on the news, who are seen as celebrities or powerful people. You know, in 100 years from now, nearly all of them will be forgotten. 2,000 years from now, they'll all be forgotten. But as long as there are people walking the face of the earth, Jesus' name will be on our lips and in our hearts. That says something about greatness. And Jesus said something, he had a lot to say about greatness. And I just want to share with you just a couple of verses from Matthew 23, verse 11 and 12. Jesus says, "The greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." Who are the great people that you see? Many of these people, their names are known only by a few, and their works are known but only by a few, or only to God. Who are the people that you see, where you see God's love, hope, and compassion moving through them, touching lives, changing people? Who are the people that you see who are the hands and feet, the eyes and the ears of Jesus? Thanks for being here today. It's wonderful to have your company, and I pray that you do have a hope-filled day.